Welcome back, guys. So I'm feeling really good. I'm thinking I got a lot of the quality issues solved for the last video. I'm hopefully got the breath stuff figured out, and it should sound a lot better today, as long as I can kind of maintain my current position and not move a single inch in any direction. Everything should be fine. In terms of the screen tearing, I swapped my monitors around, and it looks like it hasn't happened hardly at all. I haven't really seen it yet, so I don't know if it's going to be like something that just pops up as we go. But for that, the quality should be better for this video. And all that being said, we have a bunch to do today. We have to finish the rest of this factory, which is going to be our screws, our iron rods, and our assemblers, which is going to be a lot. There's a lot more to do than just kind of doing some smelters and stuff. So I'm going to try not to talk so much and try to just start making progress. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so for our iron rods, it's going to be really easy. It's just that 90 line that we have right here. We're going to run it across the top of this, and then we're going to have our splitters and everything up here in this section, and then we'll just have conveyor lifts down here to these constructors. Now, we do need 6 of these, so we got to make sure that this is going to fit in here decently, which I think that 6 works perfectly. Yes, it does. So we just have a little bit of a kind of a weird section right here, but maybe we'll just have like a bigger hallway or something. We'll figure that out. That's not really crazy important. The main part is that this gets done right, and that's that's what matters. So we are going to lay out some floor, lay out some conveyor lifts, and then start doing some stuff up here. And then fingers crossed, everything should be looking real nice here in just a second. Okay, so I came up here. I don't want to go too far through the floor because I'm not. This needs to be 3 with these constructors, so it's not like it's going to just be 2 and have the light sticking through. So when it comes to hiding these back here, it's going to get a little bit harder. So I put conveyor lifts here, and fingers crossed, these should just snap directly into this with the way I have this placed, which it looks like it is. So then now we're able to put walls on the back side of this. Kind of take that down that way, and then you'll have this right here, and then this is what you're going to see from the inside of the room, which isn't great, but it's not, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be just fine. All right, so then now that we've got all this room up here, it really doesn't matter what we do, so we're just going to make a nice little manifold right here, just to run this across and have everything kind of work itself out. Now, I'm already having a little bit of an issue with the iron plates up there not wanting to work because it's a manifold spelter, which doesn't create perfect numbers, so like that's still trying to get to 100% efficiency, and the next one in line relies on a manifold, which also needs to be at 100% efficiency. So it's just kind of like running into itself, which is kind of causing me some grief, but I think that I think it's going to be okay. I just got to give it a lot more time to kind of get set up, and this is going to run into pretty much the exact same problem. Like it's not going to want to just work automatically, and I just need to breathe and just trust the process. That is kind of causing me some issues already with the way I have this set up, but they're clicking through, and this should all be fine. I don't really need that one there. You're not going to see it anyway. And then we're just going to place this wall right here. Just kind of cover this up so you can't really see it. And we're going to go through and do a lot of kind of cover work once we actually have everything set up. And we're going to have like the maintenance tunnel access stuff in here like we did before in our last one. This is not going to be like that. Even though you're not going to see it, I still want it to be right. So we're going to put this here, and this can correct itself at the end. So then now it's like somewhat organized, and it's looking good back here. It's about as organized as it needs to be, and that's the important part. Also, with the way that this is set up, on the back side of this wall is a hallway, and we're not going to do that. So what we're going to actually do is take a double wall right here, throw it into the middle of this, and then this will be our actual wiring. So it will be kind of more vertical, so you will see a little bit more of this stuff going on. But, it is what it is. You can't hide absolutely everything, and I don't think this is really kind of the end of the world. And then this can easily tie into right here, and then now you have access to all this. We have this set up. We just need to set up the smelters, and then set up the recipes on this, and then give this a merger so it's a place to go. The manufacturers, not the manufacturers, I'm sorry, the assemblers are going to probably go down here somewhere, kind of closer to the ground. I've got space underneath this for the actual truck stations and stuff that we're going to need. We have enough room down here to kind of make that work. So that's all I'm worried about. If I kind of start to use up some of this stuff down this way, I'm not too beat up about it. So I'm going to try to get these closer to the ground, so maybe closer to like the front of the factory, and kind of, you know, put them in some windows and stuff and make it look like, you know, this place actually has some stuff going on in it, as opposed to it being a multi-level orange brick. Alright, so we quickly kind of belted the rest of this and got this boxed in a little bit. So this is what we're going for. You can kind of see that you have this stuff up here, which, you know, is what it is. It's not the end of the world. And because it's symmetrical, it doesn't actually look that bad. And where this is placed evenly on the wall, the wiring doesn't actually look that bad either. So this is good. The only real problem I'm going to have in this room is if I take this conveyor lift, which this is going to go right here, it's going to go into the floor, so you're going to actually kind of see it through these walls, which, I mean, you can see this. So we might have to put something here, like clip I don't know, your crafting station or something right here to kind of hide this. You know, worst case, you see a little bit through the wall, and, you know, that's not that big of a deal. This is the channel that you get like 98% of it looking perfect. So that's where we're at, and that's what you're getting. Sorry, it's not perfect every time. It's pretty good. Pretty good's good for me. Okay, so for the next part of this, which we're going to need more constructors, this is going to be the screws. For this, we need 12 of them. So I made this little section back here, and we're going to do pretty much the same design. We're going to set up 6 of these down this way, and we'll do like another 6 down this way, and then you're going to have a little corridor room. Obviously, this isn't right now. We're going to adjust this and kind of make it look a little bit better. But then you're going to have all your screws and everything going in this room, and I think that we're making 600 screws per minute on the iron that we have left over from those smelters, which is quite a bit. That's gonna give me some issues with kind of the belt and stuff, so we're gonna have to kind of work that out, but it's gonna be okay, and we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be good. Okay, already running into some problems. So one, obviously we had the little conveyor lift sticking out the side of this one back here, which isn't great, but that's fine. I'm going to do the same thing here, and then I'm going to do it again here for the other section. So you're going to have 3 of them that are like that, and then at the very end of this, with the belt capacity, we need 250 for the assembler recipe. So if we go into here and we do this alternative bolt plate thing, we need 250. So we're using the cast screw thing up here, which is 50 per. So if we have 5 of them on one belt, it's 250. That means that's perfect. And we can do the same thing on this side, and you have the 2 remainder, which is like 100 screws over here. That's going to get conveyor lift below the floor. It's like down like this, and I'll have a merger down here, and this will go directly to our storage room over there. So then we have machine, storage room. The only problem is we're gonna have to do some weird stuff. We also need to we're setting up a big long U-shaped manifold, essentially is what we're doing. So we're gonna have a 4th one here, because this is going to run this direction, and it's gonna get fed up to the back of these machines over here. So we're gonna be kind of sticking a lot of things through the wall, which leads me to believe it may be a good idea to come up with some sort of solution for this wall. Especially because we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we're gonna have 5 in total down here. Sorry, I'm bad at math. That's quite a bit. So we're gonna have to do some sort of decorating to get this worked out. But we're gonna continue with our plan, as opposed to trying to break off the symmetry of the factory and kind of cause a bunch of issues as is. So we're going to make do, and then we will kind of fix as we go. Alright, so I was working on this, and I got a new plan. So since I was setting this up like this, we could have this direction be the supply line. So this will go back to the storage room like we talked about. And then the rest of this stuff, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to flip the merger the opposite direction. So then at this end, you will have your... Okay, so let me backtrack here. So these splitters, we're going to feed from this side. And originally, I was going to do like a U, but then that's going to put these 2 at the end to be the ones that aren't really like getting what they need to. So we're going to kind of do some like weird reverse stuff, where we're going to flip these around to go the other direction. So they're going to come from the other side, and then we're going to make it like a Y. So we're going to split it there. You'll have half going to this side and half going to this side, and that's going to make this one the one at the end that takes a while to get set up. So that means like immediately we should get these 5 like really early on. That should be the ones supplying all of our screws, and then our storage ones are the last one on priority. So then it's a little kind of messy and complicated to explain, but once I get it set up, hopefully you'll kind of understand a little bit better. I got so excited and I was like, oh yeah, like I figured this out, like this is gonna be fine. I can't do this because I don't have the belt capacity to do this. So we're gonna have to rotate these around, because these have to be separate lines on each of these sides. So these are gonna have to go the other direction, and then I will still have the mergers down here, so it's still gonna work out, but it's just not gonna go into the center like this one is. That one's fine to be merged together because it's actually going to it's fine to be together because 100 will fit on the Mark III belt. So that's not a big deal. These ones, 250 is not going to fit together at 500 per minute on a Mark III belt. So we got to do this the other way, which isn't, you know, the end of the world. So now we have our merger lines out on this back side like here. And then you have this going in the direction that it needs to go to. You have the Y set up, which I still have to do. And I fell off of there. It's going to take me a mile to run all the way back up there. We're just going to do this because I don't want to have to deal with constantly running back up here. So that's how we're going to handle getting this stuff out of here. And then ideally, maybe we'll do the manufacturers back here. Why do I keep calling them manufacturers, dude? They're not manufacturers. Maybe we'll do the assemblers back here. I don't know. I got screws. I've got everything else I need. I just got to get this running. That's what I'm going to focus on. And I'm going to shut up and do that. Okay, so this is like the general idea what we're going for. This is all set up now. I could put glass flooring right here, but there's not really anything down here to look at. Especially with that glare is going to be causing me a bunch of issues. So I'm not, you know, too worried about it. Not the end of the world. I will need that. I have to make some little bridges right here to kind of get across to this next area so we can kind of hook all that stuff up. Because this over here is your smelters. This is actually the backside of the T-section smelters. So then right here is actually the output that we're going to need to take this over here into that Y section that's going to go back down there that I literally just deleted. So around the bend here. And we'll leave it like right here for now. And then I got to set up the splitters real quick with their little Y junction. And then hopefully we should be able to turn everything on here real soon. Oh, and I've wired it. Alright, so we got this laid out. We are going to have to cross the streams a little bit right here just because of the way it's laid out. But honestly, this is underneath the floor. You're never going to see it, so it's really not the end of the world. And, you know, if that's the only, like, realistic mistake I made in the course of, you know, this entire video, then I can live with that, and that's okay with me. So we're going to cover this up, and then the last thing that we need to do here is wire all this stuff and then make sure that the smelters are working. Alright, for the wires, we just did the same thing on the wall that we did before, and then I've got this kind of ran through the floor right here. So this is going to get covered up. You won't see it. You'll just see kind of the down line, which, you know, really isn't that big of a deal. So there's that, and then we can do the same thing on this side, and then somewhere underneath we'll tie this into the power room over there. But as long as it's below the floor, then, you know, we can manage the wires however we need to and make all that look good. So now that this is completely wired, we're going to box this in real quick, and then we can go mess with our smelters and make sure that's running, and then we're going to kind of see if this whole system works or not. Alright, so we got this powered. We end up doing the same thing in this room that we're doing this one, where we kind of ran the power line down into the floor, and then now this is connected in a straight line under the floor to go into the next room. So we will have to do some rewiring stuff, which we're going to do in a later video, but right now it's organized, and that's what is the important part, that we can kind of get around here and kind of utilize all this. This is all good. I made this little cubby here, so now we've got some of our equipment workbench and our crafting bench here if we're kind of walking around. We're going to put this in as glass, and then once I get the little 3-window kind of basic wall there that lets this come through, I'll put this down here as well. So now you're going to see this iron coming through as well as the last line of iron. So this is kind of a nice little elevator window type deal we got going on. And then this section right here is going to be our power room where you can put all of our power switches and everything to control the factory. So that's what we got going on. The last thing that we need to do right now is kind of hook this up. So if we, not the foundation, I need the belts. The belts. There we go. And I need to go get more steel beams. So let me get that, and then we're going to get this hooked up, and then we're going to see if everything works. So there we go. We got our nice little elevator-ish area where you kind of see everything going on. So we can see this going down. Ooh, looks like Dad's on. So we have this set up. This is good. This means that our smelters are running. They're going to take a little bit to kind of get up to speed because they are on that manifold that we talked about. And then over here, we should start to see that some of these machines are at least moving, which is the important part. So it looks like we've got mostly green in here, which is good. And then for our screws, this is going to take a little bit longer because it's got kind of a bit of more way to go. And I hooked this up a little bit later. So this is coming down the line. Looks like they're going to everywhere, and we do have screws on both of these lines, which means that this, in theory, is working correctly. And we just need to do the next part, which is going to be all of our assemblers. See, I got it right that time. Alright, so a quick jump cut, and 10 hours later we are back. I let my computer run all day, and I came back to it, one, for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to stack up these coupons, and 41 is definitely going to feed my little shop addiction that I got right now. So we're going to take this, and we're going to let that run in the background as we kind of check out some more things. The main thing being, that is a terrible sign already, and that is probably just a belt issue. Yeah. Oh no, it's full. That would explain why that's down, but would not explain why this is down, because it's not getting any iron. Okay, so what's the problem here? Oh yeah, I deleted this belt and then never filled it back up. That would have probably have had helped all day today, but probably really wouldn't have changed that much. I'm not too worried about it. So main thing I want to do is come check on efficiency. This side was set up properly, so as long as this is at 100%, then that means that this is probably going to be okay. We're gonna have to give it some time though to get it fully caught up and then see what happens. I've already kind of checked on this room, so I believe it fills from this top left. So our last one down here is the one that needs to be at 100%, and it is. So that's a really good sign. That means that this is working properly. Fingers crossed the screws are working properly. Just that tiny little mistake there for that belt. And overall, everything is going really, really good with our factory. Now it's time to kind of put some pieces together and see if we can get some assemblers working. Let's do this. Okay, so for some reason, I had completely forgotten how many assemblers 720 iron per minute is going to run. So I caught myself a bit off guard here. This is just for our modular frames with the math that I did, which is really, really good. But we're going to have to do a lot. We're doing 5 of these. One is a 5 split, which is a nightmare. So we've got some stuff to do. We are going to do a manifold like we've been doing. So hopefully the lessons that you've been watching, if you watched the last video and you've been watching in the first 10-15 minutes of this video, you'll get a better idea of how to do this really easily. So what we're going to do is take our Mark 1s, because these are really small numbers and we want to save some money. Now you could just do Mark 3s or your highest belt if you have that. That is what it is. Not a big deal. So this, you're going to set one of them going in, like underneath the machine, and then one of them going out. So we're going to do all this below, and this will make it super easy to organize all this stuff below, because you have one bus on one side and one bus on the other, and it's going to be nice and easy and peasy. So we're going to put all these in here. So this comes this way, that way, this comes out, and this goes in. So now all we have to do is run splitters on one side of this, and then splitters underneath this, and then we have to do a merge line on the other side, which we have enough room with these manufacturers. Assemblers, I don't know why I keep doing that. Assemblers being not that big, so we can justify actually putting them literally underneath it as well if we want to. So pretty easy to do, nice and organized, and everything's going to work out nice and fine. We do need, if I can click on this, we are going to need reinforced iron plates, which we haven't made yet, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We're going to try to do this on the front of the building. Don't quote me on that. In like 2 minutes from now, I'm probably going to immediately change the idea on that. But our modular frames are a lot more. We're only running 2 manufacturers for this, for the, sorry, what am I thinking of? The reinforced iron plates, because we have that alternate recipe that consumes all those screws and everything that we have. So it's really not nearly as intensive as this is. I just want to get this laid out, and then we can kind of work from there. A really important organizing tip when you're kind of setting all this stuff up, and especially if you kind of follow this style, is that pay attention to where your inputs are coming from. So we need, I don't have blade runners. If I did, this would be a lot easier. But we have reinforced iron plates we talked about and iron rods. Our iron rods are coming out of right here. So if I were to, I had these splitters going this way, so it's going to come in from this side. If I would have turned it the other way, then the belt would have to run from here all the way down and then back through. And now as opposed to, it's got to do just a little bit of a cross. And then honestly, if I take this and I put it right here, it can just go directly into that. Really easy. So this will now go to here, and then that will start our bus. It's not perfect, and it's not like an exact right angle, but now I don't have to kind of snake this lane, or snake the line all the way down that way, and then bring it all the way back. So we're going to finish setting this up. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to have my inputs side be this as well, because I'm not exactly sure where all this stuff is coming from, and I don't want to kind of take place of the screws if it has to go somewhere else, because the screws are coming this way, which makes you want to put the assemblers. Oh my god. Makes you want to put them over here, just because that's where our screw output is, but we're going to have to make some decisions on some things here really soon. Okay, that is set up, and now we only need two other things. We need our reinforced iron plates, and then we need some power. So let's go figure out how to get some iron plates, and then we'll work from there. Remember how I was just talking about paying attention to your inputs? Well, I think I made the decision that the best place to put the assemblers for the reinforced iron plates is going to be above the screw section. The only problem is I wasn't paying attention to my output, and now these are going in the wrong direction. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Alright, so now those were quickly flopped, and, I spent 10 minutes doing that. Anyway, so now that it's over here, it actually makes it super easy to kind of conjoin this with our screws and stuff. They're going to be running right here. And then on top of that, we're going to need to make another little elevator. So if we do an elevator to get up, we can always use an elevator to get down. And if we have our reinforced iron plates up here, then we can use the same elevator to get down there and then run through that. So we need to find a good place, and that may mean that we need to switch the input side for these splitters, which is kind of dumb that I just talked about the importance of this and then flipped all these, and then now I'm going to go down there and flip all those. But plans come and plans go. We got to put things together, and we got to make a factory here, so let's get back to it. Okay, so when you're trying to make a decision like this, you're paying attention to kind of the lines of the factory and kind of how you're drawing things out, like a little bit of connect the dots. Especially, dude, you are so loud and freaky, man. So when you're trying to connect the dots here, there's a couple places that come to mind immediately. Right here would be like perfect. If we were to place a wall like right here and then do the lifts going up this wall, you'd be able to see them. It'd be really pretty. And it'd go to the top there, and we'd have one in the middle going down. You would have all your inputs and everything right here. It'd be super close to everything, but it would block us from ever continuing this long hallway further this way, which is a good chance we're going to, because there's Caterium right there on top of whatever sort of resource nodes that we can find in this area. There's got to be something over there. I'm pretty sure there's some iron, some stuff. So if we were ever wanted to go this way, we'd be immediately blocked, and then we have to move the elevator later on. So where do you find how to put this? So there's a couple options. We could have put it over here and had something, but we're kind of running the same problem. I don't want it on the outside of my factory. I want it on the center of my factory. So a few more options. We could get rid of this, but this is honestly pretty cool, and I don't want to do that. So this kind of leaves this block right here. So you have your T-section crossway right here, which takes you to the back of the factory, to the front of the factory, and from the storage room all the way to all of our manufacturers, our assemblers. Oh my god! Takes us to our assemblers over here. And then on top of that, we can add a little decoration thing, and we put it right here too. So that's what we're going to plan to make happen. We're going to take this up to the top and kind of do it like this. I'm going to have to figure out how to decorate this in the way that I want. It's kind of a weird corner design, and there's options. There's always options. I keep saying that. I keep calling it manufacturers. I keep saying there's options. I keep not doing the options. But that's the mindset, the walkthrough of how I came to put this right here, because it's cool. And over there would stop me from doing what I want to do later on. So this is cool. That's not cool. All right, break. So in the moments immediately after that, I got a really cool idea. So I'm going to show you how I kind of did this. So if you look at one of these, which I looked at the bottom one, and then you press H, you go to nudge mode, and then you kind of put this wall wherever. So I brought it like really far forward, like right there, that lines up. So this is going to force the items like literally right in front of you. Sorry, the light is actually making this worse somehow. This is going to force the items like literally right in front of you. And it's going to look honestly awesome being able to just see this kind of go up on the wall. Okay, now conveyor lifts are a little bit tricky to work with. So in order to kind of get this to do exactly what I want to do, in most cases I would have put this conveyor pole like right here on the edge. But these conveyor lifts tend to have like a little bit of a lip on them to kind of force it back further. If I would have had that any further, it pushes it through the wall, and then that would be fine. I can move the wall back, you know, half a nudge or whatever. But the problem was then the items would be further away from you, and I want to have this like super square kind of look to it. And my idea is I'm not going to like put windows in or anything. I'm going to leave this just kind of like raw and open like this. I may put some like metal framing in the way of it to kind of help with that look, but overall it's probably just going to stay like this, and this also makes it super easy down here. So just kind of abusing the game a little bit, trying to figure out how to make some cool looking factories. That is gonna be really nice, especially once I kind of block this in. You won't be able to see down there. It may need, we take basic wall 1, go down like this, and this should hopefully stop us from being able to see up there. It really doesn't, so we're going to have to kind of work on that a little bit. I don't want to just put this here, because then it looks like it kind of goes to nothingness. So we're going to have to figure that out, but this is looking really cool, especially once we get all this stuff in there. So we set up a lot of this stuff down here, and same situation as before. As we get more and more advanced here, start trying to fill certain things is going to cause these belts to just clip right through. If I really cared about it that much, I could go through and make them not clip, but it's fine. We're going to cover all this stuff up, and really you're never going to see it, so this doesn't matter too much. I just make sure I have the right build mode on, like the straight build mode, sorry. It creates all these nice right angles, and just try to make that as clean as possible, and then I can really care less about them going right through each other, because you're never going to see it. This stuff is all hooked up. The only thing that we need to do now is I need to connect this piece right here to this, and then the only thing this needs is power. So we're going to hook power up to this, and that's going to give us our iron ingots down, our reinforced iron plates are going to go down there, and then we just power that, and then we're making modular frames. I don't know what we're doing for rotors. I'm going to have to kind of look into that and see if that's even a viable thing. I got to kind of redo the numbers. I went for a very rough number set just to try to get to this is what I cared about the most, and everything else will kind of fall into place. Okay, for the wire situation, what I did was I placed these like directly underneath them in line with this as much as I could, and that kind of makes this wire invisible. So it's now perfectly leading this wire right through the machine, and you can't even see that it's wired at all. Makes it look like it doesn't have any power, but it does. It's running. That's great. The other one just needs its recipe real quick, so I can run up there and grab that. And then now we're starting to see actually all this stuff begin to move. So once we get this running, we're going to go down there, get a quick little view of the elevator, because I'm really excited to kind of see that moving. And then we just have to get this running. It kind of loses its effect because these reinforced iron plates are flat. Plus they're not moving. It'll look better once it's moving, but the screws look really good going by. Okay, so we just connected these reinforced iron plates into our manifold right here, and they're going down the line and starting to fill stuff up. I don't know. There's not really a huge point in doing this, because we're going to kind of fix the speed of this belt later. This is a Mark III going into Mark I, so this looks like it's going super slow because it is. We're going to do some stuff to kind of make that fix itself later on. For right now, though, it's going to be just fine. So that's set up. Now we just have to put some power to these things, which we're going to not do what we just did. We're going to do something different. I don't know. Maybe we'll. Maybe I'll take the time to make it look really nice. I don't know. Give me a second. Okay, so instead of trying to make everything like perfect, which we probably should have did, but I did talk about how this is like a 90% channel. This is just like we get 90% right. That's the wrong recipe. So that's just what it is. We're not going to sit here and try to make everything look absolutely perfect, because some little bit of slop is okay. If it's worth doing at all, it's worth doing kind of half-assed. So this is in there, and it's nice and straight, so it really doesn't kind of stick out all that much. It kind of just blends in with the machines, and now we're actually making modular frames for the first time, which is a massive step for this kind of factory and just to save in general. We've got a nice room for all this stuff. We just need to make a merge line and solve some of the overflow issues, as well as the sushi belts to get this organized. In order to do any of that, there's something that we're going to need. Alright, so this is what we need. Now this is the most haphazard, basic, rudimentary, like, not even optimized at all whatsoever Caterium setup that we could possibly have. And it's going to give us about 60 per minute, which is what's really important. Is we don't need a lot, we just need something for this quick wire. And the main thing that we're going to use with that is if we go over here to the MAM, we go to our Caterium, we are going to unlock the smart splitter. Now this is what the next video is going to be about, and we're going to show you all about making a proper we're going to skip her this time, about making a proper storage line and sushi belt to kind of organize everything in our factory. If you're liking this series, and I hope that the quality on this video was a lot better than the last one. Hopefully there's no screen tearing. Hopefully my voice is good. I'm kind of like gaslighting myself and freaking out because every time that I get way too close to the mic, I start to think about my breathing in the videos, and then I just get frustrated. It's a lot to make videos and try to be entertaining and do all this stuff. And I'm not saying, oh, woe is me. I'm just saying that I hope that it's good for you, and I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope that you're learning something, and if you're not learning anything, I hope that you can at least watch us in the background while you do your factory stuff, and that might put you in the right mindset. Either way, if you're completely new, welcome, and I hope that you enjoy my channel and kind of all the Satisfactory stuff that I've done over the last kind of 2 years of my life. Either way, I hope you guys have a good day, and the next video is probably going to come out like immediately, like the next day, because I am really having fun, and I am recording this absolutely as much as possible. At this point, the video before hasn't even posted, and I'm still recording because I'm so excited about what we're doing, and I'm really ready for the future of this factory and this world. Either way, super long sign off. Hope you guys have a great time, and I will speak to you later.